Episode 4 starts out with Selena Gomez's little brother and Selena Gomez's twin brother arguing in the lair. So Selena Gomez's little brother apparently has a habit of buying magical items through a catalog or something. So he's bought 3D glasses that are just regular glasses with the letter D on them 3 times. He's bought a a transport stick. So it's literally a yard stick that allows you to transport within a yard of where you are. And a side effect that it has is it knocks out any person within that 3 foot range of you. Well, the latest item that he's purchased is a mind reading tube. So it's a toilet paper tube with macaroni that he has to glue to it himself. Um, so he buys this. He ends up putting it together, which means hot gluing macaroni to it, and then he's testing it out. So he's like standing across the room from his twin brother, like with it up to his ear. He can't hear his thoughts. But then as he gets really close to him, once he's right up next to his twin brother, he can hear his thoughts. So this mind reading tube works. You just have to be really, really close to somebody for it to work. But the transport stick ends up not being that useless. Spoiler alert for later in this episode. Selena Gomez wants to go out with this boy Dean, and so she asks advice from Harper and from her twin brother. And her twin brother actually has really good advice here, saying, well, you have to have common interests with him. Selena Gomez was trying to go up to him and say, hey, can you talk to me outside? And her twin brother is like, oh, no, that makes it sound like he's in trouble, or you want to talk about your feelings. You have to develop common interests with him. And she tries it, and that works. So what she does is she mentions to him that her dad has a broken down car in their garage that he really loves, but it's never actually worked. So Dean does car mechanic stuff. And so he's like, oh, I can go and fix your car up. So he does that. And she sees this as an opportunity to hang out with him one-on-one in their garage. People keep interrupting it. Everybody's being really annoying and not taking the hint that she wants to be alone with him. But basically what he ends up doing is he is fixing up this car to participate in a race that they're having. I guess this is an annual festival that they have, and there's a car race. So she ends up going to that. And she still hasn't had an opportunity to speak with him one-on-one. So she's like, well, I'm going to go talk to him when he's at his pit stop. Because a pit stop is a great place to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody. There aren't mechanics around. There aren't roaring engines. No, that's a great place to have a conversation, Selena Gomez. But yeah, Dean's racing the car. He goes to the pit stop. She doesn't have a chance to talk to him at all because they finish up what they're fixing and send him on his way. So she uses the transport stick. It's useful. She uses it to go into the car with him. And it knocks him out, so she has to do the steering. That's the side effect of it. But eventually, at the end of the episode, he's like, "Yeah, I like you too. I was just, I didn't want to be rude to your family and say no. I don't want to be around you. I want to be alone with Selena Gomez." So happily ever after. Of course, they're doing the thing that people always do in shows and movies, where they are talking and having a sweet conversation while someone is driving a car, and they're not keeping their damn eyes on the road. Keep your eyes on the road when you're driving. What the fuck are people doing? Be responsible. In episode 5, Selena Gomez's dad assigns the 3 kids a group assignment. And honestly, I don't even remember what it is. It's not important to the episode. Who gives a fuck? But he assigned them a group assignment that they just didn't do. They just completely skipped it. And so he's like, come on, you need to learn to work together as a group. Well, they refuse. They have their own shit to do. Selena Gomez wants to go out on a date with Dean to the roller skating rink. Selena Gomez's twin brother is in a robotics competition. He built a robot and has like choreographed a dance routine with it, which actually is pretty impressive. It's good. I mean, he did a great job of making a robot and then doing a dance routine with it. I'm impressed. He should win the robotics competition. But they go off to do their own thing. And Dad's kind of pissed because, like, hey, you had to do this group project. You completely skipped it. And now you're going off to do your own things. So he notifies Selena Gomez's little brother that there is a robber going around and robbing restaurants across town. And his MO is that he does them in alphabetical order. And he just did the restaurant that starts with U. So next is V, and then after that is Waverly Place Substation. So he's talking to Selena Gomez's little brother about how, come on, you need to go and solve this. Because Selena Gomez's little brother is aspiring to be a superhero, I guess. But he makes a superhero costume. He's like, I'm going to get him. And he learns a spell that's like, it's a rope spell that ties up a person. And the spell is completely ridiculous. It's way longer than, hey, rope, tie up this person needs to be. But it's like soap on a rope, soap fell off the rope. I don't know. It's something stupid. But apparently this spell requires 3 wizards to do it. So he can't do the spell. So the robber ends up robbing the Viking substation or whatever they call it. It starts with a V. And then it's like, oh, well, we're next. But Selena Gomez is busy out on her date with Dean at the roller skating rink. And apparently she's heard that he has this reputation that he always kisses a girl in this particular corner of the roller skating rink. and people call it Dean's Corner because he always kisses people there. And so she's kind of worried. Oh, is he going to try to kiss me? I'm not sure I'm ready for that. But she goes and she's trying to avoid it. But then it seems like he doesn't want to kiss her in that corner. He's not even pushing for it. So she's like kind of offended. Like, what, does he not want to kiss me? She ends up confronting him about it. And he's like, well, girls always, after they kiss me in that corner, they always go off and leave me and go talk to their friends. Hey, I kissed Dean. Which girls always leave you after you kiss them. I think it's not a go tell their friends issue. I think it's a you're terrible at kissing. Dean is bad at kissing. But anyway, they go and play with the claw machine. But then Selena Gomez's little brother, or her twink brother, comes and says that their little brother needs help with his soap on a rope spell to catch the robber. Well, so she runs off, and of course Dean takes this as like, hey, girls always leave me on a date. She just left me on a date. I'm offended. But I guess Selena Gomez's twink brother skipped his robotics competition for this, even though he probably should have, could have, would have won. But they go and they help. And it turns out that they succeed in tying up this robber, but it's their dad dressed up in a robber costume. So he orchestrated this whole thing to show them how to do teamwork, which is really shitty. Like, twink brother just missed a robotics competition because you had this scheme to make them think there was a robber. I mean, I get Selena Gomez, her date isn't important. Dates are stupid. But robotics competition. But yeah, they all live happily ever after. They catch the fake robber and they learn to work together. And the twink brother misses his robotics competition. He should have a trophy. But fuck that dad plot. In episode 6, Selena Gomez and Dean are already having relationship problems, even though they're only 3 episodes into their relationship. So Selena Gomez's boyfriend, Dean, has been giving her gifts, but they're all from his woodworking class. It's like, here's this clock I made out of wood, or whatever they're making in his woodworking class. And it's kind of sweet. It's nice. He's giving her gifts. He's thinking of her. But she's offended that, oh, how dare he give me something that was a class assignment? I'm way better than that. I should get a gift that costs you a bunch of money because I'm Selena Gomez. But so she's offended by that, and she's being like passive aggressive toward him about it. Well, during this episode, it's revealed that there has been a catastrophe at Hogwarts. Someone has filled the school with plastic balls, and it is revealed in this episode that magic does not work on plastic, which seems like a really big weakness of wizards, that anything plastic cannot be manipulated. But they can't remove the plastic balls from Hogwarts because they don't have powers over plastic. So they have to shut down the school because it's so filled with plastic balls. And some evil villain has done this. What a horrible, horrible plot. Plastic balls. It's a ball pit. And so all of the students there have to find a new home. So temporarily, Selena Gomez and her family take in people from Hogwarts as temporary residents of their house. So one of them is this guy, I think his name's Ronald. He's clearly trying to hit on Selena Gomez. And she's kind of on the rocks with her boyfriend, so she kind of likes it. But he has a pickup line. What is it that he says? Selena Gomez looks like someone who always tries to avoid work. That's his pickup line. What? They end up. They continue to have problems with copyright law with Hogwarts, but still, we've addressed that in a previous episode. But basically, Professor Dumbledore comes to Selena Gomez's twink brother, and he's like, well, you're a really smart student. Can you figure out how to get rid of these plastic balls? I'm going to put you in charge of it. So, first of all, this is a fully grown adult who is headmaster of Hogwarts and can't figure it out, and so he assigns it to a twink? Like, what? But anyway, so Selena Gomez's twink brother figures out a way. There's this company called WizWorld Industries, where they do all sorts of contractor work. Apparently, all of the employees of WizWorld Industries are children, which I don't know if child labor laws apply to the wizarding world, but I feel like they should. But yeah, so these children decide, you know what, we're going to go and vacuum up these balls from Hogwarts in exchange for advertising rights. So like, well, we want to put up advertisements in Hogwarts for WizWorld Industries. And Selena Gomez's twink brother agrees to it, which, how does he have authority as theoretically a minor, even though the actor is like 19? But I think the character is supposed to be 16 or 17. But he apparently has authority to sign a contract on behalf of Hogwarts to put up ads there. He's not even a student there. He was a student for a summer program one time. And I guess his homework gets sent to Hogwarts to be graded, but he's not a student there. What are they thinking? But I guess he's allowed to make this contract, and it works out, I guess. They end up going and cleaning out the plastic balls, and they can reopen Hogwarts. In episode 7, we continue the saga of the plastic balls in Hogwarts. So Selena Gomez's new prospective boyfriend, Ronald, decides that he has to get Dean out of the way. So he uses a look-alike spell to look like Dean, and then he steals Dean's phone and tells Selena Gomez that they're breaking up. And in order to get Dean out of the way, Ronald traps Dean in a jiggly fruit dessert. Apparently, Jello is trademarked, and they can't use that term. I don't think that's a surprise. I think the other thing was a surprise that sea monkeys are trademarked. But so he traps him in a jiggly fruit dessert. Turns out the villain who put all the plastic balls there is Ronald's dad. So they're like in this plot together. But in this episode, Selena Gomez, is trying to figure out her relationship with Ronald. He wants to go take her up to the roof to see there's some term, the tetherball of evil or something along those lines. And it's called that. And she's like, I'm not sure I want to go up and play with the tetherball of evil. He's like, oh, it's just named after Thomas Evil, who donated a bunch of money to the school. And she accepts that explanation. She already had this same situation with Professor Evilini last season, but apparently she believes anybody who tells her, oh no, it's just a coincidence that evil's in the name. So he takes her up there and tries to play tetherball with her. This should teach you a lesson. Never trust anybody who wants to play tetherball. But she just wants to go up there and look at the stars. And he's like, no, I want to play tetherball. Tetherball is going to be our thing in our relationship. And so eventually she's like, fine, I'll play tetherball with you. So they're hitting the tetherball back and forth. And apparently if they hit the tetherball enough times, it will turn her evil. So that sort of works. I don't even remember how they undo it, but Selena Gomez's little brother and twink brother come up and they have some stupid ass solution to making her no longer evil. It's like way simpler than it should be. But that works out. They go down, they find out that the Dean is in the jiggly fruit dessert. They free him, and happily ever after. All right, I looked it up. They get Professor Dumbledore to come upstairs to the roof, and he explains that if one of the tetherball players is in love, then evil is canceled. And she's like, oh, well, I'm in love with Dean. There we go. Evil canceled. Selena Gomez's lesson learned here is never trust somebody who plays tetherball. Never go to the tetherball of evil, or the anything of evil, really. And anybody who has a beard is evil. So yeah, that's pretty much the summary of this. They all live happily ever after, and Hogwarts is reopened. But there are all these ads. The ads are all over the place, and it's way over the top. And somehow Selena Gomez's twin brother had the authority to put up 1 million ads and have them sell merchandise there.